Hello there. Okay, so I'm just showing the block for today because I needed to get that in the very beginning of the video. So I will wait till everybody, well, everybody as in somebody, jumps on. Hello, Miss Sheila. And Miss Brenda. How are you both doing today? Okay, so I'm just showing the block for today because hang on, let me mute me. So in the background, you're probably going to hear my grandbaby. Hey, Miss Kathy. My grandbaby is doing her homework. So you're going to hear them in the background. But that's okay because they're getting it done, and that's the important part. And I'm still cleaning up for later today. And I actually have my table pretty cleaned off in comparison to what it's been like. Miss Brenda's tired. I know the feeling. I was talking with her earlier today, and I actually was up to about 5:30 last night or this morning, or whichever way you want to view that. Working on a quilt. I'm just trying to keep my head above water with some of my, oh, look what I found. Yay! I've been looking all over for this thing. Anyways, so I was working on a quilt, I just want to, kind of keep ahead of the game. I feel like if I don't get things done, then I'm going to be chasing my tail, and I don't want to do that. I'm already behind on 2 of my mystery quilts. I have one that's monthly and one that's every 2 weeks, and I haven't even done the last one, and the next one came in the mail, and I'm like, okay, gotta get that stuff caught up, but that's okay. It'll get there. Anyway, so other than that, I'm fine. I am a little bit tired today, but not like before. I mean, I had gotten a lot of rest, normal sleep as far as 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning goes. Hey, Miss Janice, welcome on. Anyways, so my hands are getting dry again. Washing them all the time, just crazy. My hands are so dry from all the washing. And I haven't had my cup of coffee yet today. I got up and immediately took my shower and started getting things going. Did a little bit of invoicing, and then the next thing I know, it's 3 o'clock and I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. I did eat lunch. That's a plus. Normally I kind of start to forget lunch. You like it? It's my, what do they call that? The Marauders Map Cup. It says, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good, which is usually about right for me. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I went and spilled my Diet Coke last night on my jelly rolls. I had to go in and rinse them and dry them and iron them, and I was so mad at myself because when I put my Diet Coke down, I didn't have the lid on it. I was thinking to myself, you know what? You're gonna make that mistake. Sure enough, I bumped into it, knocked it over. Live and learn, right? Live and learn. Okay, so ta-da! Here is our block for today. This is called Courthouse Steps. I'd always wondered, I've, excuse me, never put one of these together, but I always wondered because I've heard people talk about them. This thing is super simple, so we ought to be done with this in no time. Not like yesterday when we had almost 2 hours of sewing and quilting together, which, by the way, people, I've not been seeing any blocks. Y'all need to start posting some blocks on my page. It is cute, isn't it? But that's why I told you pick 5 different jelly roll colors, because we're going to use a different one for each. And with this one, I kind of went with a somewhat solid and then a print and then back to a solids again. And as I was going through it, I realized I have used up most of my jelly rolls that are my favorites. So now I'm stuck with the ones that are not my favorites. But that's okay, because even though they're not my favorites to me, that whoever's going to get the quilt is going to love them anyways. So we still have 2 more blocks to go. I already have the next one planned out. I was hoping we were going to get to do an applique, or at least something with a little bit of a relief in it, and I don't think we're going to make it. We'll have to see what I get to do with that block number 20. But I do have block number 19 already planned out, and it's going to be not super simple, but it is going to have some half square triangles in it, and it's just going to take, it's just the workup part. You guys got the half square triangles. We've been doing so many of those. You got those. I have no doubt about that. So let's get going on our on our block for today. Alrighty. Now I don't know if you guys have your blocks in bags or in something, but I found these at Joann's. Here, let me get this off of here so I get these from Joann's, and then one of my wonderful ladies gave me one so that I could put both of them in one, because I only bought one, and I bought it before I even started this. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, this would be perfect for this. So this is just one of those scrapbooking doodaddy things, and it fits the block just amazingly wonderful. So I've got most of my blocks for that color in that one, and most of my blocks for this color in this one. Love these things. They keep them very, very stacked, and I can stack them neatly underneath my table. As long as I don't lower my table on top of them, we're good, which I have done that before. Okay, well, eye watering again. Let's grab a tissue. Okay, whew. Alrighty. Oh, thank you. Miss Brenda is listed as my sharer. So Facebook like awards these badges to people for things that they do. So the person that shares the most times or whatever, they wind up with this badge that's called sharer badge. Then there's top fan. I'm not exactly sure how these things work. So if you figure it out, you let me know. But I know I do have a top fan, and I have apparently a share. I didn't even know that. Went and bought me some. They're 13 by 12 for $4. Great. I love these. These things are great. Now these I think are 14.5 by 14.5. And I only get them from Joann's when they're on sale. So they have to be on sale 50 or 60% off for me to get those things, because they get pretty pricey. I know one of the ones I wanted was like $35. So y'all, I promise I'm not wearing the same shirt I had on yesterday. Just the same style. This one is actually an extra large, and this is how I like to wear my t-shirts. Just slightly loose, a little more comfortable. And in fact, my shorts, my uniform right now is t-shirt and shorts. And my shorts are actually the same way. They're not tight or, you know, fitted. They're kind of loose, and they tend to slide down my hips just a little bit. So y'all forgive me as I keep yanking up my shorts. Okay. Hey, Roberta. Welcome, sweetie. Glad you made it on today. For anybody that just joined us, that is our block today. It's called the Courthouse Steps, and we're going to get started. Now, I've got mine already cut out. I was a good girl. That was one of the things that kept me up late last night, was making sure that I had that block done and this cut out. So according to our instructions, you should have 2 each of your jelly roll, 2.5 by 2.5, and 2 each of your accent color. Okay, in your accent color you should also have, let me flip my page back because I have it written down so I don't have to sit there and look at it and go, is that 4.5 or is that a 6.5? Even though I'm pretty good at eyeballing things, yeah, there's just some things better not to figure out later. And then you got 2 accent colors of the 2.5 by 4.5 and 2 accent colors of the 2.5 by 8.5. Sorry, space there for a second. That one's simple. And then you have 4 more colors, and of each color, one you're going to need to cut 2.5 by 8.5. Those do look like 8.5, don't they? Yep, 8.5. So you came into the garage again, honey?
I was going to unload it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. They're there. Hang on a second. My fabric's in the garage. I hate it when it goes to the garage. But my new shelves are coming in, so it's kind of a necessity. Okay, so 2.5 by 8.5, one color, 2.5 by 8.5, another color, and then I picked 2 more different colors. So if you notice, those are kind of light. This one is really dark. And then for the next one, I picked 2 more dark colors for the 2.5 by 12.5. So 2 12.5s, okay? All right, so let's get this started. So the very first one we're going to work on today, let me turn my light down. I'll turn this on right here. Ow, hit that just a little hard. And we're gonna turn down the light until it's off. Okay. There. So, find the right sides, face up, and then you're going to find the right sides of your accent colors and put these face down. And I would probably do a lot better if I had my glasses on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to stitch them down. And I actually used my starch. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that word. So I used my starch last night to press my seams open. Started a little too far back, so let's try that. Okay. Got that one. Then we're going to make this one look pretty. So May is learning her solids, flats, circulars, and her different shapes. And, you know, they have a picture of it on there, and they're like, okay, now which one is this? Which one is this? And she was having such a hard time understanding it. Finally, I'm like, listen, you know, what about giving her something she can hold on to? Like, you know, if it says a brick, then let's find her a brick. If it says it's a coin, let's get her a coin. So I don't know how that helped, but we'll find out later. Okay, sorry, my glasses got all gookied up. All right, I'm going to, yep, that's not on yet. I went ahead and started ironing everything open. There's not a lot of seams, but I just know that it makes a really nice crisp seam, and the whole block turns out kind of nice and really pretty. And I'm going to use a little bit of my, this one I'm using is Flatter by, I don't remember who makes this. Starch Free Smoothing Spray. Well, that explains it. I guess it's by somebody called Soak. Anyways, kind of nice. I like it. Alright, so I'm going to just get right down there. Kind of in my way there. Okay, one down, one to go. So she needed a cone, and she's like, do you have a cone? And I'm like, well, as a matter of fact, I just polished off some thread on one of my cones. So that's what I used, was my cone. So I hand them a cone. It's not exactly like an ice cream cone, but it's close. All right. Next, we're going to take it and we're going to fold it over so that they are on opposite sides. Right sides together. Excuse me. All right, and I'm just going to pin it real quick just so it doesn't slide when it's underneath there. And I'm going to make make sure that top piece is in there. Just stitch that right down there. So last night I made barbecue chicken. Actually turned out pretty good. I know I was talking to Miss Roberta last night, and she made barbecue chicken too. Now that is not my best dish. In fact, chicken on the grill is not one of those things I do very well, but it actually wasn't half bad. Problem was the chicken breasts were so thick. Normally I'd beat them down until they're a little thinner, but the chicken breast was so thick that I actually had to go on the grill and cut them into sections so that they'll start to start to cook because the centers were still uncooked and the outside was starting to burn. And you know, you can't even put the barbecue sauce on until the chicken is almost done, because otherwise it'll just burn like crazy. And if you didn't know that, ta-da, you just got a new tip. Okay, got a little bit of my flatter on there. Okay, got that done. Now, you should look like this. And if you lined up those seams, then you should have some really pretty points, okay? If you didn't, don't worry about it. It comes with practice. You should have seen my seams. In fact, on one that I submitted to the fair, I looked back at it now and I'm like, wow, that was pretty bad. Some of my seams were pretty rough. And my log cabin in there was even worse because it was supposed to be like 12 inches and it wound up being like 11. So I lost inches because I didn't understand seams at the time. Okay, so next, where's my picture? Okay, so let's see. It really shouldn't matter, but according to the picture, this corner right here should be in your top right side. So even though I'm sure when you're looking at it, it's looking like it's on the left side, it's actually on the right side. So this colored corner is going to go on the top right side. Top left side. Sorry. Because when I put it down, it's like it's over here on the left side. When you're looking at it from there. Okay, anyways. Right side. Left side. I should just go back to bed again. Okay. Left side. So when you're looking at it, it's on the left side. If you're pointing away from you, it's on the right side. But I don't think it really matters. It's just the way the picture was. Okay, and so we're going to pin that real quick. Right there so it doesn't slide off on me. I got nothing to do with that thing. Okay. And we're going to stitch that down at 1/4 of an inch. And remember, everything that you, pretty much everything, unless it specifies, when quilting is 1/4 of an inch. Just like when you're doing seams for a for clothing, it's usually a standard 3/8, 5/8. Y'all, I don't remember. It's been so long since I've done it. All right, now flip it over, and on the other side, the other end, we're going to do the same thing. And if the cutting went well, this should go from one side to the other side without any overlap. On. All right. Now we went ahead and put both sides on. That's just so that we kind of cut down on some of the, oh, here, let's take it off. Let's iron it. Now we can iron both pieces. Let's come over here. Now move these up out of the way. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little bit giddy about tonight. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Class starts at 7:30. Miss Jerry and I will kind of start setting things up around 6:30. Make sure we have the lighting right and the camera in the right angle. We may even do a quick test live somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30 just to make sure everything's working properly. And if you notice that if you run your iron right down the center, those seams pretty much open right up. The only time I've noticed that it gives me a little bit of trouble is when there's really a lot of seams, all real bulky, and then sometimes I have to separate them. But for the most part, you just run the tip of your iron down the center and it opens right up for you. And that's one of the things I love about that bar. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put on the 2 8.5-inch pretty jelly roll colors. Pretty. Okay. This one's going to go here. And again, it really should go from end to end. Unless you cut it wrong. And I think I cut mine just slightly off. See, one end is better than the other. So it must have slipped when I was cutting it. And that happens. What I like about this particular block is when you turn it like this, you don't really have a lot of seams that you have to match up, which is kind of nice, especially when it seems like we have been very seam intensive lately. But of course, you know, we talked about the fact that we were going to be doing some more complicated blocks. And tomorrow's block is actually quite interesting. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I know where I got it from, but I'm not exactly sure what the block is. I don't think she told me the name of it. Oh, hang on. I pulled some scraps down and they were hanging at my toes. I was bouncing my sneakers against them. And yes, I wear sneakers in the house because we have tile floors and the tiles tear up my feet. I know how great they are for like cleanups, and you know, it's easy to clean up. If you have a dog, you don't have to worry about the hair getting caught in the carpet and all that fun stuff. But man, that stuff is hard on your back, legs, and your sciatic. So I wear my sneakers pretty much all day long because they have the most support. And I do have some flip-flops that have a little bit of an arch in it, but in my opinion, not enough to really make a difference. Now, nobody's commented for a little while, so I just want to make sure I'm not kind of caught here. Oh, that's neat. It's doing kind of like I've got my closed caption on down at the bottom. As I'm talking, it's actually recording my words. Oh my gosh. Did I push a wrong button somewhere? Let's see. Oh, didn't say anything. Okay. I'm here, not asleep yet. Okay. All right. Well, I am glad to hear that, Miss Brenda. Okay, so let's grab that other one, and we're going to put it down at the same time. My little noisy grandbaby in the back. Yeah, I've really enjoyed having her here. I'll tell you what, though, she went ballistic last night. I don't know. She must have been tired or didn't feel good or something. But she just went crazy. Started screaming about something or other, and then I sent her to her room. Next thing I know, she was out cold. And she was only asleep for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and she woke up and she's like, I'm hungry. We started out at dinner, and then she got kind of cranky or crazy about something. I'm not even sure what it was now, but wow, I don't usually see her like that, so I figured something was wrong. She just, for some reason, she must not have been feeling good. I will say she has not necessarily enjoyed. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Faye. Miss Sheila just said that she has posted her her block to the quilter site. Thank you. I haven't had any posts on there lately from you guys, and I really enjoy seeing them. Okay, so now we're going to open it up and iron those open. Now, if you're just ironing small pieces or whatever, then you don't necessarily have to use the clapper or the pressing bar. But the little one, especially if you're just doing little pieces next to your sewing machine, is great. When you get into the full pieces and lots of blocks together and stuff like that, then yeah, you're gonna want your full out ironing board. But for little things like we've been doing, this is perfect. The ironing board is very, very nice for small pieces and small blocks. And the pressing bar is great for pressing those seams open. Okay, just gonna give it a quick. Anyway, so May has decided she doesn't like doing schoolwork like this. She wants to be in class. And we tried to explain that that's not going to happen right now. Not with everybody on, you know, containment. So we're hoping she'll figure it out sooner or later. Okay, next we're going to do the next ones, which are 8.5 by 8.5. And we want to make sure we got the right side, the proper side. Oh, and look, and they just about fit. Okay, they do fit. So I was going through the book that I'm working with for our log cabins because I think our next fun project is going to be log cabins. You know how much I love my log cabins. Anyways, so it's going to be log cabins, or at least that's pretty much the consensus so far was that everybody was okay with log cabins. And let me tell you, there are a ton of log cabin patterns. It is so cool. Now, some of them are foundation piecing, so I just need to know if you guys are okay with that. And then I'm going to need, make sure I have your emails, and I will send out the printable for you so that you can print it out along with I'll have like a little legend at the bottom, like a little line, and it'll be like, okay, this is supposed to be 1 inch. So is everybody okay with that? Because some of those log cabin blocks are so cute, but there's no way to do them that I can think of unless you just kind of do it haphazard without the foundation piecing. And if you've never done foundation piecing, this is a really good way to kind of get your feet wet with that. And you shouldn't have to buy anything new. Like some people use a white table, and if you have one, that's great. If you don't worry about it. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have this like this clear top, but right here, this is just a piece of paper that's been taped to the bottom. And I put a light underneath here. I have a little, I don't actually have it with me right now. I don't know where I put it, but I have a little light that I got from like Home Depot or something where it tilts. Actually, I think I might have got that from like Dollar Tree or something. But it tilts up and then I turn it on and it shoots light straight up. And so this is my light box for when I'm here. And this is, you know, just something simple I did. You can use one of those ones that are like round and you can attach them to the wall where you can put it right underneath your, you know, your table as well. And shoot it right through the white piece of paper. There's a lot of ways to make a light box without having to run out and buy one. Now I did buy one from Mark Sherman. I'm on a live, sweetie. I'm on. All right, what does she got? Ooh.
It's for the Earth Day.
Oh, it's for Earth Day. Let me show everybody. So this is called Worms and Dirt, right?
Or Earth Day Pudding Cup.
Or Earth Day Pudding Cup. And it is chocolate pudding, Oreo cookies, looks like some sprinkles, and of course gummy worms.
Yeah, she needed some flowers.
She needs some flowers or starch or something. Okay, go.
Okay, come.
Good job. Good job, sweetie. Okay. Okay, so I did buy one from Mark Sherman because I just happened to be able to splurge that particular class, but it was pretty costly. Okay, well good. It sounds like we're getting some good review on that, and so it looks like we're probably going to go with the log cabin. We'll probably start out pretty simple with, you know, blocks that we can just cut and put together, but then we're going to start getting into foundation piecing and some crazy stuff. I saw some really neat things. kind of might challenge your vision on what a log cabin pattern looks like, but I am excited about that. Oh, we're gonna have some fun stuff. Okay, so if we do this one, we can do it just like we did before with 12 or 20 blocks, depending how long our confinement goes. I might take a couple days off just between, just so I can get things ready, but we'll see. Maybe we'll just kind of have a quick couple of days of sew along, kind of like we did before. Okay, that one's... Somebody was talking about irons on Facebook, and I was reading some of the comments, and they were asking, you know, what's the best iron? Oh, somebody was looking for an iron, and they wanted to know what the best iron was. And I thought, oh, I want to read that. So I kind of went through some of the comments, and a lot of people are like, Black & Decker, it's like $10, and if it breaks, you just toss it away and get a new one. And I thought that was great, and they seemed to really like them. But there was a lot of different ones on there. And believe it or not, there's quite a few cordless ones. People are like, yeah, I don't have to deal with the cord. Personally, I like the idea of not having a cord. And the one that I had before this one, you could detach the cord, and instead of using it as cord, you could use it as cordless. But it did cool off rather quickly, which is why I kind of wound up leaving the cord on it, because it stays hotter longer. So as much as I love the cordless, it doesn't always work for what I wanted. Okay, so here we are. We're doing good. We got one more set of rows to go here. So take your pick, decide how you want to do this. I think I'm going to put the purpley one here. Let me turn it down a little bit. Ooh, we're up to 16. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the farm, funny farm. Okay, so I'm going to put my purple on this side where my little ready one is, and I'm going to take my ready one and I'm going to put it down here with my little purple one, kind of keeping it mixed up a little bit instead of all right in the same. Okay, so I'm going to put this one right here, and look, it matches. It's kind of funny what makes you happy. Yardage. Oh, you want to know how many yards we're going to have? Ugh. Well, that was kind of what I was hoping. I was hoping I could put them into my EQ8 and find out how much yardage we're going to need so that I can tell you ahead of time. And then maybe I'll have a couple of sets of fabrics made up so that if you're interested, and you can just purchase what I got, or you can just go through your stash, or even your scraps. But I will see what I can find for you. Yes, I ran over my pins. Shame on me. Oh, I guess she's talking to her mama. Nicole calls every day to talk to her daughter. Sometimes I don't even realize that she is called until until Ashley tells me that Nicole did call. So that is great. Nicole's getting kind of anxious about Nicole being gone so long. It's finally sinking in that her mama's not here right now. So she misses her a lot. I think that's part of what the meltdown yesterday was about. All right, so I got my pin together there. Oh, me too. I'm excited too. So with a log cabin, you need to remember that usually it involves a lot of different fabrics, different colors, and it can be all of the same color scheme, or you can be completely different and kind of haphazard. And sometimes this is nice where the scraps come in, because if you can find enough scraps of 2.5 wide, enough of those scraps, you can usually get some really cool results. But I will see what I can do about getting you the exact numbers on that, because you can definitely go through an awful lot of jelly roll trying to get, you know, yard piece, inch and a half of this or 2 inches of that, or maybe you need 3.5 inches. You know, you just, it's one of those things where you're not 100% sure. So yeah, let me put that together and see what I can find out for you. So we're going to have a couple days where we're going to do some fun stuff, but we do have 2 more blocks plus one day where all we're going to do is talk about putting it together. Okay. Maybe I'll try to have it on the wall. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. I should have 8 more clappers by Friday. Excellent. Excellent. So my supplier of clappers has just informed me that she should have a new supply of clappers to me very, very soon. And I'm very excited about that because my first batch is almost gone. I have sold most of my clappers. And so if I can get some more of them on there, on my Etsy, that would be great. Well, hello, Miss Tina. I was going to try and get to your place early today, but I did not make it. And I hate to say it, but I might have to wait till tomorrow morning. Because I have the live tonight after this, after dinner, and that'll take me till about 9:30. But if I'm still wide awake by then, I still might come over and drop it off. So how are things for you, Miss? Now, Valentina, I see your Valentina on here, but do you go by Tina? Do you go by something other than that? Because I am happy to call you whatever you like being called. I was just noticing on your Facebook when I was trying to contact you, that you actually have a different name up there, you know, a name in parentheses, kind of like how I do Robin in parentheses instead of just Robalee. So I want to make sure that, you know, if you'd like us to call you Tina or something, or Val or whatever, you know, just let us know. We'll be happy to call you by a nickname. I know for most of my life, I went by Robin. Nobody ever called me Robalee but my mother. And that was usually when she was mad at me. If I heard Robalee pop out of her mouth, I knew I was in trouble. How about y'all? Tina? Excellent. We will call you Tina. So from now on, Ms. Valentina is Tina. It's kind of funny. My best friend's last name is Valentino. So when you popped up there, you know, weeks ago, I was like, oh, that'll be easy. Still working on my coffee. Okay, y'all. That was it. There it is. Courthouse steps. What do you think? Yeah. Looks good, right? Kind of looks like that one up there. Kind of matches somewhat. All right. All right. So we are done with that. That block was actually very simple, and we are done at 4 o'clock. See, that one was, this particular block would work up so quickly if you were putting it together for a whole quilt. You could have this done. This is like a one-day quilt. You could probably get this this particular pattern put together, and then when you're putting it together, which all I saw was the block itself. I didn't actually see the whole thing put together. But if you put it like this and just keep alternating your blocks so that they, you know, alternate like that, that would be like a way cool pattern. What do you think? Yeah, I love it too.
What happened to cats?
Oh, yes. I like these colors. They're some of my favorites. I love purples. Actually, to be perfectly honest though, blue is my absolute favorite color. That's why I am almost out of all of my blues in this particular jelly roll. Like the little circles. I think I have about combined about 10 inches of fabric left, and that's with all the little pieces that are in there. And the blue on here, almost all gone. Believe it or not, green is not my favorite color. And so that is one of those oopsie things. I try really hard not to lean towards one color in a jelly roll, but I do it anyways. I guess a lot of people do. Anyways, all right. So we've talked about the quilt coming up. So we got 19 and 20. I already have 19 ready. I haven't decided what we're going to do for 20 yet, but I really was kind of hoping it to make it a really interesting quilt block as the last one. I just have to figure out what I want to do. I was so hoping to do applique, but I don't think we're going to make it. But we'll find out. You never know. Maybe I can squeeze that into number 20. If you would... I have almost everybody's email. I'm trying to think if I need to ask for anything. If I decide to go with like a pattern that you need to like follow it, like a template kind of thing, I will email you the template with a little legend that says this is supposed to be 1 inch or this is supposed to be 2 inches, and you just use your ruler and use your copier to, you know, make it go up or down as far as, you know, enlarge it or make it smaller to make it fit that 1 inch. Once you figure that out, what you have to enlarge it to, pretty much you should be able to use that same number every single time. Just make sure you're measuring using that little line that I'll supply to make sure that that falls in the 1 inch. Otherwise, if you have one template that's one size and another template that's another size, even if it's just, you know, 1/8 of an inch, it's a huge difference when you're trying to put a block together. So if I do wind up using a template, I will email that to you. Just make sure you private message me that you're interested in getting the template. That way I know I'm pretty sure I have most people's email. Just make sure you are sending it. If you're not sure if I have your email, send me your email so I can make sure I get you the template if we decide to do an applique kind of thing. But I will get that to you tonight or first thing tomorrow. Yeah, I have tonight or tomorrow to go. So does that make sense? Am I making any sense? I hope I'm making some sense. Okay. Our next one is going to be, we pretty much, I guess, already decided it's going to be log cabins. I'm going to take a couple days and a couple days off, and I'm going to, now when I say that, we're probably still going to do a little sew along, but take a couple days and then just start putting together, you know, which blocks I'm going to do and how much fabric it's going to take. I should be able to have some kind of special for you for fabric if you decide you want to go with my fabric, or you can go into your own stash and find some of your fabrics. Or you can, you know, there's plenty of people out there right now who have lots of wonderful fabrics for sale. So, you know, don't feel like you have to get it from me. I'm just here providing instruction, but if you need fabric and you'd like a variety, then I'll have a couple of different kits put together so you can decide what you want. Plus I got to pick out my own kit, you know, hey, what's it for if I can't use some of my own fabric, right? Okay, so log cabins, definitely going to be doing some foundation piecing. I will try to post some ideas for how to do a light box without actually having to buy a light box. But, you know, if you feel like you could use one, better late than never, right? I actually had 2 different kinds. One I used for slides when I was doing photography, but it was not the right size. So I wound up buying one eventually, not right away, from, I think his name was Mark Sherman. He does the Trapunto. Love Trapunto. So way cool. Maybe we can include that too. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. Anyways, so I'll try to put like maybe some Pinterest ideas or something to kind of give you an idea of how to make your own light box without the expensive. Hey, sweetheart, you got those unloaded?
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. I got some new shelving in for my fabric. Yay! And my hubby just came back from it because he and a friend put those together for me. Isn't he sweet? Okay, so anyways, log cabin, foundation piecing, love foundation piecing, but and don't go out and think you have to buy a whole bunch of really expensive paper, because that lady that has the paper that I use, that stuff is like $12 to $15 for just a little stack of like 100 sheets. And the same thing, you don't have to do that. Just, I've used copy paper, I've used ruled paper, you know, there's, you know, all kinds of things you can do to be able to do it without having to put it on an actual foundation. The nice thing about her paper is it's really pretty thin, which these days copy paper's gotten pretty thin, so that's probably not a bad thing. But her paper is kind of thin and it does rip really nicely. The other thing I will tell you is to make it easier to rip your foundation paper off of the back of your fabric is you're going to need to shorten that, shorten the stitch length. Right now we usually do a 2.5. I'd say we're going to have to drop it down to about a 1.5. And what it does is it creates a perforation so that you can rip those off a whole lot easier instead of struggling with or stressing your stitches. So, but we'll talk about that some more when we're about there. But that's just kind of a little heads up on that one. Does anybody have any questions thus far about this, about the quilt, about quilting fabric, anything that I can answer or anybody who's on can answer? Now is a good time to talk about it, ask questions. I need my 1 cup a day. I don't drink much coffee, but I do like coffee. In fact, this was the last little bit of coffee from my Disney vanilla coffee, Mickey Disney vanilla coffee. I went on the internet looking for more Joffrey because that's my favorite. Joffrey's Jamaican Me Crazy coffee. Love that stuff. I don't know what they put in there, but it is addictive. Anyways, so I went online looking for it, and man, that stuff is expensive. Ooh, yeah. Miss Janice says foam book pages work really good. Yeah, those are pretty thin too, aren't they? I wonder about newspaper. Well, you need to try to get it into the copier as well. Unless, well, yeah, you got to get it through the copier. So it's got to be able to, you got to be able to print on it at least, which you can do that with notebook paper, probably with a meltdown. I don't. My meltdown is done. Is over for today. That's funny, Miss Brenda. Yeah, you know, I kind of had my own meltdown last night. With May's meltdown came my meltdown. Why is she doing that? I don't understand it. Why is she crying like that? What's up with her? What's up with her? Is she sick? Finally, I was like, okay, grandma mode back on. Turn it on. Flip switch. I am not in mommy mode. I need to be in grandma mode. And just let her go to sleep. Let her sleep it off. If you guys have been in my house is a wreck. I let her pretty much have the run of the place. So there's like tape, and I'm talking about the clear tape from almost the front door all the way down into the living room, because she has this thing right now with the tape, and she tapes everything. Everything is taped. I got stuff taped to my wall. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get that stuff off. There's so much tape on there. But we supplied her with tape. We bought boxes of tape so that if she wanted to tape something, she was able to tape it. If she wanted to play, put stuff together, we let her put it together. We just tried to make sure that she had pretty much the run of the house to do whatever she wanted to. And you know what? When this is all over, I'll deep clean. I'll clean off all the tape. I'll scrape up the stuff off the floor. The only thing we have forbidden in the house is crime scene. Yeah, that's about what it looks like. The only thing we have forbidden in the house is slime and putty. I thought I actually found a really good alternative to slime with putty. You know, it is amazing what a child can do with putty. Oh my gosh. Putty was great because, you know, it wasn't sticky, and if you put it down, it'd peel right up. The only thing is you had to keep it off of fabric because it would just like ooze right into the fibers of the fabric, and you could not get that stuff off. Vinegar, I think, was the only thing my daughter found that helped to get it off, because she accidentally fell asleep with it on Grandpa's blanket. So there was putty stuck to Grandpa's favorite blanket. It was his Hallmark blanket. It had the red truck on it and everything. It was very comfortable, very nice. Anyways, so the putty, she comes out of my daughter's room watching TV, and she had the putty. And this putty that normally is very, very solid in that it doesn't, you know, like I said, doesn't stick to anything. It doesn't ooze or anything like that. It does, you know, kind of melt, kind of has that melting thing to it. It was like a gooey liquid. I don't know what she did to it, but it was like oozing through her fingers, and it was stuck to her skin. And when she went to go into the bathroom, she did this to the door to push it open. And so I had two handprints on the wall in nothing but blue goo putty, and it was gooey. And I did not know. I sat there for an hour scrubbing, and you know what was the only thing that got her off the wall and off her skin? The magic eraser. Can you believe it? The magic eraser. I don't know. I think when I was using the vinegar on the wall, it was coming off slowly. And then I thought, okay, well, now I've got this blue. What am I going to do? So I grabbed the magic eraser just to try to get some of the blue color left behind the stain off of the wall. And it started taking the putty off too. And so I handed her one eraser, and she was just sitting there scrubbing on her hands trying to get this putty, and it was coming off. And it took probably about a half an hour of her scrubbing her hands at the water. And nothing else works. Soap, vinegar, nothing was getting this stuff off her hands. It was just like moving from one spot on her skin to the next spot. And it was slowly creeping up her arm too. Oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. Anyway, so that was our escapades into putty. So that being said, slime and putty are no longer allowed in this house. We let her have a run of the place. Joe stepped on a Lego the other day. I mean, we have toys from one end of the house to the other. And we just slowly scoop them up, put them back in there. When this is all over, we'll just go through and deep clean the whole house. But she's so funny. But yeah. Yeah, my house does kind of look like a crime scene. But I did actually try to clean it up a little bit today, especially out here. So that for our thing tonight at 7:30. And I am sorry for everybody who's on right now. If you did not join or, get the kit, this is a private viewing, so unfortunately you'll have to wait till the next class and buy into the next class, which is fine. I'm sure we're going to do another one, or at least I will, and it will be fun. We'll have a good time, and let's see, 7:30 tonight. Yeah, we should be right on at 7:30. Don't forget, it is going to be horizontal. And anybody that was watching last night knows what I'm talking about. We're actually going to turn the phones horizontal. Make sure you turn off your auto rotate, so that your phone, when you rotate it over to the horizontal position, it will stay in the horizontal position and not flip and then get even smaller. Because we want to be able to have one person here, and then I'm going to be over here at the sewing machine. So she's going to talk about what's going on, what's happening, what we're going to be doing, and I'll be over here actually sewing. So I'll be sewing with you, and she'll be doing the talking. So yes, I get to sew, and I don't have to chit-chat as much. I actually love chit-chatting, don't get me wrong, but it'll be interesting seeing someone else do it, because she has a lot of experience teaching in a classroom, and most of my teaching has been mostly online, and I love that. I really do, because nobody can argue with me or heckle me unless they're doing it by texting. So that's kind of neat. But she's had a lot of experience in teaching in classroom settings. She's had quilts being judged. She's been published in magazines. I mean, Miss Jerry is amazing. I love her stuff. And her quilts are beautiful. And she gets to play with all that fabric. Something popped through there. Hang on, let me take a look. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Sheila. I appreciate that. So you guys get to meet her tonight, and some of you already know her, but some of you will be seeing her for the first time. She's just a really neat lady, and she knows her stuff. So I think you're going to be really excited about it. Well, let's see how we're doing here. We can go ahead and close it off early tonight if you'd like. This quilt block was a lot of fun. Again, I think if you were looking to do a quilt quick and easy, this would be a great one-day quilt. You can probably whip out 20 of these, like bam, bam, bam. I used to be able to snap my fingers a lot easier. I used to be able to whistle too, and I can't whistle anymore either. But you could probably bam this out in like one day and have it quilted the next day, bound the next day, and you are done. So this one will be fast, easy, and you could do 20 blocks, 30 blocks, 40 blocks, quick snap in a jiffy. But we're just using one block for the whole quilt, and I can't believe how close we are. 18 blocks plus the long one, because I don't know did that one count? That didn't count, did it? Anyways, I don't know. I guess I need to go through and count and make sure we actually have 18 blocks, not counting the long one. Or did we count that one? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. All right, guys. I'm not seeing any more answers or questions, so I think we're going to call it for today. Y'all, thank you very much for joining me again on another episode of Jelly Roll Mystery Fun. That's what I kind of named this. It got dubbed. And then in the description, I call it the Jelly Roll sampler quilt blocks. So if you are up to it and you want to check it out, my YouTube channel has all of the videos plus my oopses. And I talked about having the all of the cutting instructions put into a book. I'm actually going to do it so that it kind of reads like a instructional. So it should have the cutting instructions and then a picture of the block underneath that, and then just some quick instructions on what you're doing with it under that. So each block should have 1 or 2 pages with it, or 1 page on the back. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I think that would be kind of interesting to put together a whole thing. And then what I would like to do, and I don't know how easy or cost effective that this would be, is I would like to be able to put the videos onto a card so that you would actually have the videos at hand at all times as well. But I'll let you know what I've got and if it's going to cost anything for something like that. Because, of course, you know, whether I use a thumb drive or a CD or a jump drive or SD card, you know, those cost me money. So we just need to figure out what it'll take. But I think that would be kind of interesting to be able to do, you know, all of that, plus have the actual video instructions on a drive or some kind of media. All right, y'all. This has been fun. This has been wonderful, but I only have about 3 hours before our next get together, and so I still need to do dinner, which I think I'm just going to order out pizza. What do you think? Yeah, pizza sounds really good. Anyways, but I still got some cleaning to do, so I don't completely embarrass myself while she's here. So y'all have a wonderful night. Stay safe. My thoughts and prayers are always with you guys. You guys, I think about you all the time. And anytime you need to get a hold of me, again, you can send a private message through Facebook. You can send me an email through srqquilter@gmail.com. Let's see. I've even been able to contact people through the Etsy thing. So, I mean, there's always a way to get a hold of me. In fact, I actually made a phone call to one of my peeps here right through Facebook. So I was a little concerned, and so I just called to make sure everything was okay, and it was fine. She was fine. All the cutting instructions went smoothly, so that was great. So I will see you tonight. You guys have a great time. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. 7:30 sharp, same place, same time, same back channel. And good luck. I'll see those of you that I don't see tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, mwah.